Welcome to Deckbuilding Tutor, your go-to channel for mastering the art of building effective decks. I'm Nick, your teacher for today, and I'm here to help you level up your deck building skills. Before we dive into today's lesson, I want to take a moment to talk about the channel. Feel free to skip ahead if you're here just for the lesson. First off, Happy New Year to everyone! I want to thank all of you who watched my past videos. Honestly, I never expected to have so many viewers. It's been surreal connecting with the community, sharing card ideas, giving encouragement, and just geeking out over deck building together. It's been such an incredible experience. I know it's been a while since my last upload. College has kept me pretty busy, but hey, it's a new year and I'm excited to grow this channel even more. As you might have noticed, I'm trying out something new for this video. Can you guys let me know if this is good? I'd love to hear what you guys think. I'd also like to give a big shout out to AiryOnline for creating this awesome model. If you want to support their work, I've linked their socials in the description below. Alright, let's jump into today's video. Today's lesson is all about saving money in deck building. While there are plenty of videos out there that focus on the structure of a deck, like how many draw spells, removal options, ramp pieces, and synergy cards you should include, there aren't nearly as many that tackle how to build a deck without breaking the bank. So I thought, fine, I'll do it myself. We're going to dive into strategies and tips for creating budget-friendly decks that don't sacrifice fun or functionality. I'm making this video because I know this is exactly the kind of content I wish I had seen when I was a new player. Back then, figuring out how to build decks on a budget felt overwhelming, and I would have loved some guidance. This is my way of giving back to the community and helping other players, whether you're just starting out or simply looking to save a bit while enjoying the game. Just like in Magic the Gathering, deck building itself has distinct phases. These phases can help you approach the process in a structured and cost-effective way. Phase 1, the prep stage. This happens before you buy any cards. It's all about planning and strategizing. Next is Phase 2, assembling stage. Finding and purchasing the cards you need, ensuring you stay within budget. Finally, there's Phase 3, upgrading your deck over time, where you slowly refine and enhance it with new additions. Learning these steps can save you a lot of money while also making you a better deck builder. Let's start with Phase 1, the prep stage. This phase is all about getting an idea how much you can spend by estimating costs and establishing a clear budget. First, decide on a maximum price for the entire deck. This gives you a clear spending limit and helps keep your purchases in check. You can also set a price cap for individual cards in the deck. For example, you might choose to only include cards that cost $10 or less. Both approaches give you a solid framework to work within and prevent overspending. I highly recommend using a powerful search tool like Scryfall for this phase. Scryfall is a search engine with simple syntax that makes it easy to perform both basic and advanced searches. Whether you're looking for cards with specific mechanics, themes, or price points, Scryfall has you covered. Plus, it's connected to TCG Player, so you can instantly check the prices of the cards you find, making it an invaluable tool for staying within your budget. Scryfall, please sponsor me. Here's an example of a simple search using Scryfall. Let's say you're looking for a card that allows you to search your deck and put a card into your hand. You can scroll down this page to also set the price to less than $2. Using that search, you'll notice there are actually plenty of budget friendly options for tutors. While they might not be as powerful or efficient as some of the more expensive tutors, they still fulfill a similar role in helping you find the cards you need. These budget options are great for building a functional deck without overspending. You can also sort your search results by EDH rank. This allows you to see the cards ranked from most popular to least popular based on what players commonly use in their decks. It's a great way to discover widely used staples as well as underrated cards that might be perfect for your deck. There's nothing more satisfying and fulfilling than finding a very vague card that nobody uses but is actually very synergistic in your deck that makes people go, wait, what the fuck does that do? As you gain more experience using Scryfall, you can start learning its search syntax to unlock even more powerful tools such as tags. The website also provides a helpful guide to walk you through the syntax, making it easy to pick up and improve your searches over time. After you find some cards that you want to play, I suggest creating a decklist in Architect. This is the tool that I usually use in creating my decks, as you might have seen in my previous videos. You can use Architect in your browser and lets you easily see the structure of your deck. You can analyze the mana curve, organize cards into categories, and check the count of cards in those categories. This is the mana curve for my Mr. Foxglove deck. It's a bit fucked up because the deck aims to cheat out big mana value creatures. Of course, Architect is also connected to TCG Player, which is great for keeping an eye on your budget. The most important thing about this website is its playtesting function, which I will discuss later. Another great feature of Architect is its integration with Scryfall. You can simply click and drag cards directly from Scryfall into your decklist on Architect, and they'll be automatically imported, saving you time and effort. For example, as you can see here, I'm adding Arcane Signet to the maybe board of my Mr. Foxglove deck. Once you've added cards to your decklist, Architect will display the estimated cost of your deck. You can even customize where the prices are sourced from, such as TCG Player or other retailers. This feature is incredibly useful for monitoring the overall price of your deck and ensuring you stay within your budget. One important thing to keep in mind is that the deck costs shown are just estimates. I repeat, these are just estimates. Your actual expenses could end up being higher depending on factors such as shipping or availability. On the flip side, you might occasionally find cards for less than the listed price, but that's usually rare. It's always a good idea to account for some flexibility in your budget when building your deck. Another factor to consider is shipping fees, which are easy to overlook. Buying from a single seller with a shipping fee might not seem like a big deal, but the costs can quickly add up if you're purchasing from multiple sellers. This is something you need to keep in mind during the preparation stage when estimating your overall costs. Consolidating your purchases with fewer sellers can help you save money in the long run. And of course, sometimes you get free shipping fee. Finally, don't forget to factor in the cost of accessories when building your deck. For example, where I'm from, a pack of Dragon Shield sleeve costs around $12 to $15, which is already a significant expense. A deck box can cost anywhere from $5 to $20, depending on the type and quality. These additional costs can really add up, especially when you're working on a budget of budget deck of around $50, right? It's important to plan for these expenses as part of your overall budget to avoid any surprises later on. That wraps it up for estimating costs. Now that you've created your deck lists, it's time to playtest the deck. Playtesting is the most important part of the prep stage. You can use tools such as the aforementioned Architect to goldfish your deck, or import your deck list to Untap, where you can play with other players for free. You can see the playtester function in the upper right corner of your deck list in Architect right here. This is what the interface looks like. You can practice drawing your starting hand here, and of course, test how your deck plays around 1 to 8 turns. The controls are simple and easy to learn, so I'll leave that up to you. Nick, what's so important about playtesting? While playtesting, you need to learn how to play the deck, how the deck wins, and the most important part, finding out if you actually have fun playing the deck. If your answer here is immediately a no, that could definitely be a sign not to build the deck. A common mistake many players make is buying all the cards and building an entire deck only to realize they don't actually enjoy playing it. At this point, you're just throwing away your money. Of course, you can always resell the cards again, but you've already spent the time, effort, even transport and shipping costs to get those cards. Well, of course I know him. He's me. I've been guilty of that same mistake myself. This happens more often than you think because we often get excited about the idea of the deck rather than the actual experience of playing it. Unfortunately, this can lead to spending a significant amount of money on a deck you won't even want to play. Once you discover that you genuinely enjoy playing the deck, that's fantastic. From there, you can set a new goal, refining and improving the deck list. This process involves identifying what the deck truly needs, figuring out which cards aren't performing as well as expected, and then replacing those cards with stronger, more effective options. Over time, this iterative approach will help you create a deck that's not only fun to play, but also more competitive and efficient. What I usually do when removing bad cards is just moving them to the maybe board. I do this because I might reconsider adding them back in the future, and of course, I'm a fucking hoarder. You can do this by hovering over a card and pressing M, or selecting multiple cards by holding Control and left clicking. As you can see in my Mr. Foxglove deck list, I have over 50 cards in the maybe board, and I think that's just completely normal when you're making a deck. You've removed the underperforming cards. The next step is finding better replacement. Or what if there's a card you really want to include, but it's just too expensive? This is where the concept of finding alternatives comes in. Alternatives are budget-friendly cards that can fill a similar role or provide a comparable effect. They might not be as flashy or efficient as the expensive options, but they can still help your deck function effectively without breaking the bank. Let's say you want to play Sakashima of 1,000 Faces because you want to copy a legendary creature such as your commander. But this card is $30 fucking dollars! Well, I'll let you into a little secret. This might be a little controversial, but fuck it, I'll say it anyway. Commander is starting to become a non-singleton format. Wait! Before you attack me in the comments, hear me out. Here's the biggest life hack I can give you. If you search a card in Scryfall, scroll down and you'll see a button called Open on Scryfall Tagger. When you click that, you'll see the tags at the bottom. These tags are managed by many people in Scryfall, and they aim to categorize cards so that it will be easier to find similar effects. In this case, we are looking for a card that can copy legendary creatures. Let's click this button. As you can see, there are 27 cards. 27 cards that can copy a legendary creature. And you can also sort this by ETH rank. Let's check some out. We found Spark Double and Ironicus Vile Duplication. These two cards can basically do the same thing as Sakashima does, copying a legendary creature. The only reason why Sakashima is so damn expensive is because you can use it as your partner commander. But these cards are essentially the same card that does the same purpose for less the price. Look, we just went from $30 to $5 and $3. That's a huge difference. To drive this point even further, here are 5 impact effect tag cards. As you can see, prices can really vary among the cards, but they do fulfill the similar purpose. There are even more of these cards in the search results. Using Scryfall tags, you can often find alternatives to the expensive cards you want. This technique will not only help you build better decks with a lot of consistency, but it also saves you a lot of money. We're finally finished with the prep stage of deck building. Now that we have a solid deck list, we can now start buying our cards in the assembling phase. My very first advice, and listen to me carefully, this is important. My very first advice is never, ever buy packs if you're looking for a card. Just buy singles. Come on, say it with me now. I'm just gonna buy singles. I'm just gonna buy singles. I'm just gonna buy singles. I swear to God, if I see you buy packs to look for a card, I'm gonna fucking choke you. Come here, come here! My second advice is going to an LGS event such as Friday Night Magic. Here, you can meet like-minded people who have probably brought their binders to the event. Going to local game stores allows you to meet other players and see the cards they have for sale. If you want to save on shipping fees, you can meet with sellers here. You don't have to participate in the tournaments, you can just go here to establish connections with people. You can even save more money by trading old cards you don't use instead of spending cash. Meeting and having good relationships with other players can even help you find better deals than buying cards online. Remember, Magic is a trading card game. It encourages players to meet up, socialize, and trade cards. This is the essence of playing Magic: The Gathering. Another valuable skill in budget deck building is comparing prices and checking for reprints. This helps you identify the cheapest versions of a card or determine if a card was recently reprinted. Reprints are often the most affordable option, making them a great choice for budget-conscious players. Let's take a look at some tools you can use. I recommend using mobile apps such as ManaBox and TCG Player. The advantage of using these apps is having the access to card prices at real time. Before buying a card, always check the price first. You can always do this wherever you are if you have your phone. This is the UI of ManaBox. When you search for a card, you can immediately see the price when you swipe down. You can select your preferred pricing in the settings. From where I'm from, the convention is usually TCG Player mid price. Apart from seeing the latest printing of cards in Manabox, you can also use Scryfall with the syntax for checking reprints in the current year. Let's check Aurelia the War Leader, which is a popular card in combat-focused decks because it doubles your combat phases. As you can see, most of Aurelia's old versions are really expensive. Fortunately, it was recently just reprinted in the Foundation set, taking its price down to $3.7. Another benefit of checking for reprints is that the supply is usually higher than old printings. Good job! You made it this far. You created a strong deck list and finally built the deck piece by piece. Wizards of the Coast has been releasing sets non-stop, and the new cards seem to be good for your deck. How should you approach upgrading it? When seeing a new card that seems good, ask yourself, does the deck actually need this? Sometimes we can be too excited for new cards that we forget to think whether we actually need it. We can't deny the fact that Wizards keeps releasing strictly and objectively better cards as time goes by. It's easy to be tempted to get new cards, especially if they're cheap. However, sometimes these new cards are more expensive than their old counterparts. Stop and ask yourself again, do I really need this? Is it actually worth the price? Can I afford it? If your answer is no, then you can just save your money if you have to. Think, Mark, think! Will the card price change sometime after release? Will the card drop in price because it's just overhyped? Card prices can fluctuate all the time, so knowing whether a card is underrated or overrated often comes down to intuition and experience. I'm not here to tell you whether it's okay or not to treat cards as investments, but what I will say is that at the end of the day, you're putting your money at risk when you do so. Remember, this is a card game. Although we can definitely treat some cards as collector pieces, that is often not the case for most people. Please, please be mindful of how much you spend. Alright, you decided that a new card is worth buying. One last thing to consider. What card do I remove from the fucking deck? This has been Deckbuilding Tutor. Thanks for watching. I spent a long time making this video, so I hope you liked it. If you want to support me and this channel, please consider to like, comment, share, and subscribe.